So from a scientific, theological, philosophical, humanity, from the moment of fertilization, we have a human life. He says no.
I don't think so either.
What do you got?
Okay, so
What is it? What's that? 62.
You're 62.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for
So why don't you say you're 63?
Because I was born on December 8th, 1962.
So we count that's your birthday, right?
Yep.
The day you're
But that doesn't mean the day I became a human being. The day I became alive as who I am was the moment of the fertilization of my father's sperm and my mother's egg. At that moment, I had all the DNA, all the reality of who I am. It had to go through processes of development, just like y'all did all throughout your life, all the way through puberty, and I'm still developing. I mean, I'm kind of declining. I got gray hair and wrinkles and all that kind of stuff, but I'm still a human being with all my same DNA I had when I was a fertilized zygote. And therefore, every zygote ought to have equal protection under the law. I mean, that's really what this is all my argument right here.
All right, but so
But,
what?
okay, explain that.
Let's see if anybody else can explain it.
Okay, so at what point, when do you take into consideration circumstances?
What do you mean?
So, for instance,
How is this? Oh, okay, I'll listen to it. Yeah.
circumstances affecting abortion, not just wanting to, let's say, just abort the baby because you want to have a child. Other circumstances of the mother is not able to survive giving birth, right? Emergency abortion.
You know, I've done a fair amount of study on that, and I've talked to many women where the physician said, unless you kill this baby, you're going to die. And I've known many women that says, I'm not going to kill my own baby, and she gave birth to a healthy baby. It is the doctors, the doctor, Hippocratic.
Gives them a risk saying if you have this baby, you could die.
Could die, so we're going to kill somebody on a hypothetical? Yeah. So that a doctor, exactly, I want to say this. A doctor's job is to save life. The Hippocratic Oath is to do no harm. So when a doctor has a mother and a second patient, a baby in that womb, his or her obligation is to save both lives if at all possible. Is it always possible? No. But never should that doctor do harm and kill the mother or that baby with the hypothetical thought that one of them is going to die.
I kind of disagree. Like if a baby gestates in an area where it's not supposed to,
sometimes it does. Sometimes it does correct, but the intent is not to kill that ectopic pregnancy.
The intent is just to save the woman.
Yeah, or to try to, but we don't have the technology yet. I do believe we will have the technology to allow there to be saving of ectopic pregnancy.
As of right now, I don't think if this woman wanted to have a baby but couldn't because of a medical issue, and she would die, and this is what you would say is that baby would.
I mean, you're hypothetical. It's a hypothetical.
Not that you would want this to happen, but hypothetically speaking, if this baby were to die, baby.
Is it dying or being killed? Because there are spontaneous abortions that happen physically with no intervention. It depends how you define abortion. If you define abortion as exactly, thank you.
Yes.
They used to call it abortion or miscarriages.
A miscarriage and a stillborn and an abortion are not. They're three different.
Very good.
In order
Very good.
for it to be a stillborn, the mother would have to give birth.
Yeah.
So like that's like.
Yeah. So no, that's not. That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. Yeah,
So nobody has gone in and killed that child.
No, it just died.
So the argumentation of this is that
I think I understand.
back Dred Scott decision, are you familiar with Dred Scott decision during slavery times? Dred Scott's Supreme Court decision said that slaves were not really human beings. They were 3/5 of a human being, but they're not really human beings. So therefore, they do not have, they don't have equal, right, exactly. They don't have equal rights for all humans, so we can enslave them. So now we have the same philosophy that many people define these little babies in the womb as less than human.
I think that's a bit of a false equivalence.
How?
Trying to say that the reason,
Not at all.
The reasoning behind
The philosophy behind it. The philosophy behind it is that reasoning behind it is that these are not human beings. We can enslave them. These are not human beings. We can kill them. So therefore, we don't believe that equal rights for all humans. This is a human being. So those who are against this, you don't believe in equal rights for all human beings?
No, they are, but can you say it's a human being if it's
Absolutely.
not viable without the mother?
Absolutely.
Can it breathe?
So
Yes,
so if you take a fetus out,
It is a human being.
breathe on
A
its own?
human functionality, a live human functionality is not dependent, or value is not dependent upon their functionality. There are people in hospitals right now that are on ventilators. There are people, even a newborn baby cannot survive on its own. I got a 2-year-old. If we leave him for 2 months, he's going to die.
Right, 'cause that's
As a 2-year-old.
Why is it just abortion?
You have to
that
nurture
you're-
a
that
child
you're
once
preaching
it's out.
for?
Oh, wait, actually-
Because
There's also people on life support, right, who get taken off and then they die. Is that not the same crime and the same sin of someone aborting a
it's a good
child?
question. I think that there are times when I've had family members that, I mean, they're gone. They're on the ventilator. I've watched them, and it's like there comes a point where we have to say, you have to pull the plug.
Quality of life.
But that's very different than, here's a guy that's having a difficult time in the hospital and we're just going to inject him filled with drugs and kill him.
I guess, but if it's in the means of quality of life, let's say a mother and a father, right? They have their child. They're incapable of supporting this child to fruition financially, where they live, all of these things. Who's to say that that's just that's worse than taking someone at the end of their life on life support, taking them off the life support and killing them?
Well, one we know, it's not the same.
theoretically the same thing.
How?
How? Because you're ending their life at the end of their life.
By
It's
your
just as
logic, I think
worse.
that would still count as ending another person's life.
No, because an infant is a person created in the image of God and should have equal justice. If here's a poor poverty is not a capital offense. So here's couples that can't take care of their baby, they're struggling, so we should kill the baby?
Well, I
No,
don't
they
believe it.
shouldn't
I
have
think
it.
they should.
Well, they do have it. So what are you going to do, kill it?
Oh, well, it's my personal
Well,
belief.
yes.
Wait, you are advocating for killing born children?
But
Born
if you
children, no, but
if you're
like-
if you're a woman about to have a baby and you know damn well you can't afford it,
So you should kill it?
No, well, no, I don't
what?
think
You know
it's
what?
killing in the first place.
you shouldn't have it. It's
Wait,
not
wait,
killing
so
it because the
why
baby
is it
can't-
not
whatever's
killing
in the
it?
womb can't register pain. It doesn't know what pain is.
How do you know that?
It doesn't know
Because
what
it-
life is.
So
It doesn't know what
pain,
life is.
It's
the
pain
ability
receptors
of
haven't
feeling
The
pain
receptors haven't
is
been
what makes.
developed, so it can.
So wait, wait.
It can't
The
feel-
ability to
can't
feel
feel nothing.
pain makes a human being?
Well, no, I think
Is
that's
that way? So here's a person that
part of
can't
it,
feel
but
pain.
I also
We should
believe-
kill him.
I believe that's a part of
That's
it.
a part of it,
But
like-
no,
like
I don't
again-
think that's the whole. It also
All right,
can't think.
so-
I'm just going
Think
by
about
his
it like this.
argument.
It's incapable
Think about it like this, right?
of we could
Torture.
go first, you go first.
Right? The whole concept
Wicked.
of torture, right?
Yeah, it's wicked. You don't think these babies are tortured? You don't think?
No, I
You don't think that's wrong?
Because they
It's the
can't feel it.
abstract
Oh, it's not
poster.
torture, so let's numb somebody and slice them up. Wait. Let's numb somebody and
When a
slice
doctor
them
does
up.
surgery,
Let's let's just leave them all mutilated. He can't feel it, so it's okay. Wait.
All right, so then
Torture is not torture if a person doesn't feel it.
no, it's not.
Y'all agree with that?
If you can't
Torture
feel
is
it,
not torture if you can't feel it.
That means you're not affected by it. How
you're
is
not
that?
affected by it.
So let's numb you. Let's put you into a state. We'll whip you all up, put your guts on the table, pull out an eyeball, and then eventually you wake up. Was that torture?
That baby doesn't wake up.
That baby doesn't.
Yeah, why not? Why
Because it
not?
was never awake.
Yeah.
Why not? Of course it was awake. Babies sing, babies dance, babies smile, babies do all kinds of stuff in the womb.
Outside of the womb.
No, they do inside of the womb. See, look at what you guys, you are using the same argument. They're not really human beings.
They are.
Most abortions
That was
happen
just
before that,
discrimination.
though.
And that's not discrimination. These are human beings. Who cares?
This
The value of a human being,
without the other mother being
the value of a human being is not dependent upon how much pain you feel.
Also,
So it's arbitrary.
using this as your image that you're
Yeah.
for today, right?
Hold on,
They didn't have a choice whether they were getting abortions. You have a choice now whether you get an abortion. Is that wrong?
Wait. You think this baby had a choice?
No, I'm talking about.
Did that child have a choice?
About the real life that.
Wait, did these children have, their lives are not affected?
Those are children.
What kids? What's their names?
What is this?
Oh, nobody
I don't
named
believe those
them.
are children.
They were killed
That's jelly.
before that.
There's strawberry jelly on the poster.
You know, and if I were in Nazi Germany and we had all the bones, it's like, oh, those are just skulls, because those Jews are not really human beings. This has it is the same philosophy. It is the same philosophy, because under the Nazi regime,
I think it's
they define Jews as less than human, and so they pass laws the final support. That's called murder. That's murder. Yeah,
Am I
and
discriminating?
if you have legal right to kill me, it would be. Just like they said they're not human, they had a legal right to kill slaves. They had a legal right to
prejudice,
enslave
not
them.
Discrimination, slightly different, but that is still prejudice. That's still
It's
not
a human rights violation.
I am of the belief. I don't really believe that life begins at conception.
When does it? Wait. When does life begin? Human life.
I don't know.
Wait. Now there's a building. Let's just say we got a building over here. They're going to destroy it, and you don't know whether there's anybody in the building, and you got this plunger that you could kill it. Would you go like this or not?
Hold on, I never finished speaking.
All right, go ahead.
I just don't believe that. I do not believe that life begins at conception. I used to be super devout Catholic.
But how do you know? I'm not Catholic either.
I know you're not. You're
Protestant.
Protestant, yeah. I know that our beliefs, even if I were still a devout Catholic, was still very wildly depending on what kind of Catholic and what kind of Protestant you are. I'm aware of that. But even as somebody who was taught, maybe not your scripture, definitely not your scripture, but just a different scripture, who was taught scripture, I still do not really see any real basis for life beginning at conception. Do you have evidence for that happening? Just because...
You're kidding, right?
Yeah.
We could go to a basic biology textbook. The moment that sperm enters that egg, we have a live
But where does it
human.
say that's live? And where does it say
Science
that
does. Just I'm not even going to use
You
a
have
theological. For anybody who understands anything
I
about
actually
science,
have research on my phone that states the opposite.
Okay, show me where a zygote is not a human life.
I have. Hold on. Give me just a second. You guys can continue while I go on
Oh
this.
yeah.
Go ahead.
You'll be looking a long time.
About the whole building thing. That building right there will be like one of us standing right here. If it was just like not even foundation, maybe some little things. If you were to destroy that wasn't a building yet. That was not a building.
No, you missed my point. My point is, if he's saying he doesn't know whether it's a human being or not, okay? So then he will err on the side of killing what he does not know whether it's a human being or not. My argument is, if we did not know there was a human being in that building, and we're going to destroy this building, and there may be a human being, would you plunger that thing down and destroy that building with that human in it? Go ahead, you're laughing. Let's see you refute that.
I'm just laughing because it's just like a really silly comparison.
Yeah.
It doesn't make
You understand? Of course it makes sense. Because you don't know. Would you, if you didn't know there was a human being in that building, and you were going to plunger it so there will be, wait, let me ask the question.
Okay.
And you could detonate the bombs in it, and you don't know, would you detonate it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're in college? Come on.
Can you
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, I graduated from here.
Also,
So, yes.
I do not.
There is. If you didn't know there was a human being, you would not until you were sure that building is cleared. That's code. That's law. And so you don't know whether this little human being, this little creature is a human being, but you'll kill it. You'll pull that plunger.
No, I don't believe it's killing. I guess you said, what word did you use specifically? I don't want to miss. You said a zygote, or did you say?
Sure, a single cell human being.
Oh!
Single cell human being.
A zygote.